Hello friends and enemies, it's me Isabel here at Happy For Now. I'm really excited. Well, I'm curious to see what y'all think of this list actually. So we're gonna kick off my full end of the year content today. So I wanted to kick off my end of year content with the negative video. One, because these are fun, but two, because I only have 5 books that I think I can fairly include on my worst reads of the year, because here's the thing. These are worse and disappointing in no particular order, but also I challenge myself to read unhinged things all the time. We know this is a thing I do. I feel like I'm weirdly qualified to say no, these are pretty objectively bad. Some of them are just bad to me personally, but also sometimes you find a steaming pile of poop of a book, and I definitely managed that this year. So we're gonna dive right in no particular order. These are kind of just in order that I read them, more than order of favorites, because I can't really rank these because they're all so wildly different, y'all. so wildly different. First, we're gonna talk about a series that I've loved for a long time. I put off reading this one. This is one of my early reads in January of last year, and that is Until April by Aurora Rose Reynolds. If you're new to my channel, you've not heard me talk about this series before. This is one of the series that my bestie and I read back in 2018, 2019. We loved's a strong word. Really enjoyed how popcorny a lot of these books were, but we are now into the second spinoff, the spinoff series of the main series where we follow their children, and it has gotten so bad that I think I actually am officially done. So the newest one just came out and I don't think I'm gonna read it. I think I'm done. I think I'm calling it quits on the series from Aurora Rose Reynolds. I might try some of her other series, but this just is not gonna work. So I ended up rating this 3 stars total. Oh god, it just, I couldn't have cared less is the thing, and that's a really hard thing in a romance. I should care about the couple. I should want to know about them. I should want to hear about them. I should want to see them be happy together. I did not care. So April is our main character. She has, of course, it's called Until April, put all of her energy into working on her career, which is real estate. And a family friend comes back into town and she has to help him with his real estate hunt. And it's their romance with some suspense elements to it, because of course she has someone is being killed in some of these houses by realtors. I literally didn't care. I don't know how much less I could have cared when I read this book, or how much more bored I could have been during this book. It was so bad. It just was so bad. And again, a new one just came out, and I honestly, this was just the nail in the coffin for me. I'm done. We are leaving Aurora Rose Reynolds Until series at the very least in 2022. It is not moving forward with me. I am done. We do not, I don't need to continue. So I don't want to give much more to this. I don't think there's a lot more to say about this. But yeah, it just was so blah. Which is disappointing, because when I come to Aurora Rose Reynolds books, I have a very specific expectation and thing I'm looking for, and I didn't get that. And that's never fun, especially when it's a series. I have very specific things I want, and this had none of it. And I think the writing at this point has just gotten too clunky for me. She's very descriptive in outfits and things that I just don't care about. All I need is a brief, quick outfit thing. I don't need this whole super detailed thing. But she likes to give us a lot of detail, and I just think it's not working for me. So yeah, definitely one of my worst. Next is Under One Roof by Allie Hazelwood. So initially I rated this 3 stars, and I didn't hate this trilogy, but the more I think about these 3 books, there's 2 I liked more than this one. Specifically, I liked the middle one the most out of all 3 of these, and I would say that one is the one worth reading, where they're stuck in an elevator, because that was fun. That was different, good setup. But Under One Roof felt let me just compress the really key plot points for an enemies to lovers sort of situation, and we could never be together because we have very different life ideals, into a very short novella that honestly at the end of the day was not memorable, nowhere near as enjoyable as The Love Hypothesis was to me. And I know that Allie tends to write very formulaic books. I still have not read Love on the Brain. I know this, and I'm okay with that. I can do formula books, but I think that these were so short that they didn't give me enough to make the formula element of this worth it. So there's that. Man, these were disappointing, and I totally get why a lot of us were very upset when these first came out and people were listening to them. I think I probably would have liked them more as the original fix, to be honest. All right, next one is a favorite of a lot of people, and I am excited because things that I had big issues with were being fixed. It's one that, like, though I have moments where I debate reading the sequel because I want to see something, and that book is Haunting Adeline. Listen, I really wanted a really solid stalker romance, okay? Like, I'm not opposed to that. But Haunting Adeline leaned so heavily into these really dangerous belief systems, right? Which, if you watch Romancelandia Monthly, H.D. Carlton has addressed and is working on getting some of this stuff fixed. But her attempt was more supposed to be satanic in nature than QAnon-y, like really right-wing conservative belief systems. And our hero Z is, of course, like, he's saving the children and people from being trafficked and all these things that, like, are not actually a thing. Like, that is happening in the way that people want. And yes, it's fiction, and I'm down to read these things in fiction, and I'm down for them to be fictionalized in a way, but I think the context in which it's presented needs to be evaluated very carefully, and to see how that is then spread out into other belief systems in real life. Because people, though me and you may say, yes, we can separate fact from fiction, there are people who cannot, and there are people who are going to read this and see the very harmful belief system that they have reflected in a book. And part of that is why Haunting Adeline is on my list. I was just, like, so disappointed, and I was so disappointed because I didn't see it being called out. I didn't see people talking about it, and I felt like a weirdo on an island being like, hey, does anybody see these issues? Is it just me? Like, yeah, didn't love that feeling. But on top of that, the viral tweet I had where I had to draw them in the car to understand how the sex scene worked. If your book takes me out of a sex scene because I'm going, I don't think this is physically possible with how large our male main character is supposed to be, it's not physically possible. Like, if you take me out and I'm like, how's this working? I'm just done. Like, I can't stand that. And it sucks because, like, again, there was like a really great haunted fair scene with like a haunted house and a like mirror thing, not a mirror, a mirror maze type thing, and I really liked some of those elements, like, a lot. But then I would just be like drawn back into like, how stupid are you, Adeline? How have you not been like, fishy? Like, I just could not stand it. But the reason I continue to debate the sequel is I've heard that there's a lot of reckoning for our male main character around what he did to her in the first book, and how it's repeatedly like not okay and all these things, which, like, I think that's really interesting to see in a sequel, especially in a dark romance. So, like, tempted, but also I think I'd rather just give H.G. Carlton another try in a different book than revisit this series. I don't know. I can't decide. You can convince me in the comments if you really think I should go one way or the other with this one, but yeah, it just was like, man, not it. Not great. Not for me. Okay, and next one is a podcast read, which was Vampire Academy. So listen, I gave this 2 stars when I read this, and it's not that it's like the worst. I think, like, I hate myself for revisiting it because I had like slight fond memories, but now like 30-some-year-old me is like, this is bad. Like, why is this like 30-year-old guy hooking up with a 16-year-old? Like, this is weird. And those were the things, like, for me on a reread with like not enough nostalgia, but like I didn't have enough nostalgia for it to like ignore it. So I was just instead going, why? The whole time. Why? So yeah, I don't know. I really liked the show. I hope we get another season. I've not looked into if that got renewed or not, but like, the show was a blast. I did a whole vlog where I read the book and watched the show and enjoyed it. And I think I'll stick to that versus like ever continuing the series, because like, why? Why would I? It's just not great. But yeah, it was just yikes in a way that I did not expect. And then last, which is definitely like the worst book I read this year. I just talked about it in my December wrap up, in fact. This is a book I read to Grumps for my members who somehow sat through it with a straight face. And that is The Minions in Me by Leonard Delaney. I gotta say, if you're gonna pick up any Leonard book, this is not the one. Let's just skip it. Don't buy it, please. Just don't give yourself the nightmares I gave myself from this one, okay? Because here's the thing. Do I hate bananas? Yes, I do. I don't like bananas. But also, this is still so bad, even if I did like bananas, that like it's scarring if you do like bananas, because their dicks peel like a banana. Yes, I'm spoiling this one because it is worth a spoil. Their dicks peel like a banana. Also, like, who's the real villain in this book? Is it Gru, or is it actually this girl who like kidnaps the minions at the end to go be her sexy time friends? Also, the minions built like a dungeon, and I'm just deeply uncomfortable with all of this. At one point, one like shrinks himself down, is like running across her body with like his giant schlong dragging, and it was just weird. And weird in a way that, again, was like not like, this is funny and weird. No, this was weird in the like, what is wrong with you? Why did you write this book? Which he was like commissioned by BuzzFeed for this book, but still, why? No, this one's like a full avoid in my opinion, so I highly recommend you avoid it. It was so bad. Anyways, that is it for my worst reads. I only had 5. I did decide to exclude like the Grinchmas books because I'm like, these were bad, but I'm not going to do a whole vlog where I like shit on them again because I've already read them. But also, debuting the new hair today. What do y'all think? We've got purples and some blue in here. There's blue on this side. You can see it. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe. So I've got some blue also from the hanger-ons from before, but we're going to be playing in some pastels now, which I'm really excited about. I did love my neon green, but I'm really digging the purple on me. I think it looks good. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments what you think. I do think we're gonna do a bigger mix of like purples, maybe some pinks next time. We'll see. I just love changing it up. But either way, those are my worst / most disappointing books of the year. Let me know yours in the comment because I'm always curious. This is like my favorite video to watch from everyone. Well, one of like 2 of my favorites. So let me know that in the comments. And if you don't want to do that, you can leave me a purple heart emoji because the hair, why not? And I will be back with my next video with my favorite reads of the month, my favorite reads of 2022. So get excited, that's coming. I will have links to all of these books if for some reason you're really that curious. And otherwise, there's links down there to be my friend anywhere on the internet. I'll talk to y'all in a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get